Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's me, an average reader, and this is the video that I feel like everybody's been asking for in the comments of my Kobo Libra color video and my Kindle Coloursoft video. It is the Kindle versus Kobo Showdown. Now, there's a few disclaimers before I start this. One, I've not been sent either of these devices by the companies. I literally paid for them myself, so I've got no skin in the game. I don't benefit from you choosing one over the other. And also, I'm not really here to try and force you to decide which one's better. I'm just showing you them both and telling you what I found best and also what I didn't enjoy. So I had to try and get this quite concise. So I've cut it down to 10 main points, and then there's some bonus ones because I could talk about these two devices for probably like the length of a feature length. The last disclaimer is on my most recent videos about the Kindle, I've had some pretty vicious, I'll say, comments about what people want me to say or things that I've missed out. I had someone really angry at me, getting quite explicit because I didn't mention the update. But as I've said in previous videos, if you're new here, this is an average reader. My whole point in this channel is that I am just an average reader looking at these devices like the average consumer. So you're not going to get a big tech breakdown. If that's what you're wanting, then this is not the channel for you. You need to go find some other channel, maybe Techspert. That's my favorite go-to when I want to know all the ins and out of the tech. This is literally just like, this is what it was like using this device in the real world, with a tiny bit of tech jargon thrown in. And as always, let's try and refrain from angry, argumentative comments and also arguing in the comments. This is my hobby. I started this for fun. I don't get paid to do it. It's not my job. It's just something I do on the side. So the fact that I put anything at all is purely because I want to, not because I have to. So let's try and bear that in mind and move forward calm and peacefully. And without further notice, let's get going. You'll see that both of these are on at the moment. They probably will turn off because the length is going to take me to film this video. I won't be getting up to turn them back on. It was purely here for aesthetic purposes. So you can see that both of them are on and both of them are color. They will be close-up shots, so don't panic. So the first thing I want to talk about when you're comparing the two devices is the display, obviously, and the color quality. Both of these are using e-ink Kaleido technology for the color. Both of them have that grainy feel because they're color, and that is what you'll get with e-ink colored devices. It's always going to be a little bit dimmer than it would be if you were looking at a black and white e-reader. You need to bear that in mind. If that's what you're looking for, is the next one that's not got that sort of haziness, then you're going to be disappointed either way. In terms of the color, it is, if you're a comic book reader, it feels quite essential. Like, I couldn't go back now to black and white reading comics and having all the color taken out of them, because even with the muted colors that you get on e-ink, it's also nice to have the colors available to you when you are out and reading a comic. I just wanted to do a little screen test for you guys. So this is daytime, and this is starting with no backlight or warm light. And then we're going into 25% backlight for both of the devices. And then 50% backlight for both of the devices. And then we're going to go into 100% backlight for both of the devices. And now I'm going to add 25% warm light to the 100% backlight. And then 50% warm light to 100% backlight. And then we're going to finish with 100% for both. I'm not sure how well it came across, but for me, the Kindle Coloursoft had more depth. The thing that the Kindle has, which the Libra didn't have, is the setting to change to the vivid colors. So the Kobo Libra does have some stuff you can go into like beta mode and tweak things around, but it feels a bit more technical than it does on the Kindle when you can literally just tick a little box. So that does feel a little easier in terms of user friendliness. And when it comes to looking between the two of them, to be honest, it leans heavily towards the Kindle Coloursoft for me. There's just something about the screen. It's a bit more snappy. Comics look a bit better on it. Both the devices have 300 ppi for black and 150 ppi for color. And ppi stands for pixels per inch, and it refers to the number of pixels in each inch of a digital image, or the number of pixels a screen can display. For e-ink, ppi refers to the pixel density of an e-ink display. That was very jargon heavy. Basically, the higher the ppi, the better the image quality. So both of them on paper have a similar display, but I will say, when you're looking at them, the Kindle does have the edge. It does. Like, when I first turned it on, I was a bit more wowed, even though I'd seen my Kobo. I will say, if you're someone who's just reading textbooks, unless you're going to be doing a lot of highlighting, the color is pretty much just a gimmick. I am someone that does a lot of highlighting, and I do love a bit of comics, but I also love my covers in color. So number two, screen size and resolution. Both have the same resolution, which is 1264 times 1680 pixels. Because the screen sizes are so similar, it's not something that I've looked at either of them and gone, oh my God, Like, I feel like I'm missing out either way. So it's quite balanced there. Both offer more than enough screen for you to enjoy your books and your content. But I will say that, again, the Kindle is taking the edge here because it has the panel view when you're looking at comics, whereas the Kobo does not do that. So you can zoom in on both of them, but the fact that you can make it so that when you're looking at comics, you're just getting square by square, it's a lot more efficient when you're reading comics on the Kindle Coloursoft. Next is battery life. And I will say, although I've only been with my Kindle Coloursoft for just over a week now, again, it takes the lead a little bit here, because when I first got my Kobo, I was doing the same thing I'm doing with the Kindle, so using it every day, playing around on it. The battery, I probably had to recharge it once in that first week. With the Kindle, I've not had to charge it yet. But I don't think it's a massively dramatic thing, because I've said this in previous videos. The Kobo still lasts when you're using it regularly, not like obsessively because you've just got it, longer than a week. Or I think I went a month without charging it more before I got the Kindle. Obviously, if you're comparing these two devices and one's longer than the other, I think the Kindle is supposed to have 8 weeks of battery, the Kobo's 6. Comparing that side by side, that sounds bad. But if you're comparing it against like your phone and stuff, when in a world where we charge devices like every other day, it's pretty incredible to have a device that can last like a month battery. So I don't really see that as a negative. I don't see it as a reason to not get the Kobo Libra color, because, yeah, as I say, it lasted me a month one time. But then the thing I do love with the Kindle Coloursoft is the wireless charging. So as much as it isn't even that much of an issue to just plug in the Kobo Libra color, being able to just place the Kindle on a charging pad is pretty beautiful. 4, build quality and design. Most obvious distinguishing feature between the two of them is that the Kobo Libra color has buttons and the Kindle Coloursoft does not. I will say the buttons is just wonderful. It takes me back to the Kindle Oasis. There's something about the fact you can sort of lie in bed on your side, just pressing that button, and then you turn it over, you just flip the device around, you keep pressing that button. It is so good. As much as I don't mind tapping the page to turn the page, when you switch to the other hand, it just throws everything out. And so it doesn't feel as streamlined as it does when you're using the Kobo Libra color. Both of them have an IPX8 waterproof rating. So for someone like me who loves to read in the bath, that is a massive plus. It's something I literally couldn't be without it, because I'm living with Crohn's disease. So on those days when I've got stomach cramps, I'm not feeling well, I am literally submerged in a bath. And when it comes to the color choices for each device, for some reason the box for my Kobo Libra color had the white one on. So when I got it, I thought I bought the wrong one, but it is actually the black device. Both of these devices are black. You can get the Kobo Libra in white. I don't know why, and I've said this in all of my videos about the devices, whoever's idea it was to make 2 color devices and not give you colorful options for the actual design. What were you thinking? Like, why is it the black and white devices you can get in multiple colors? Why on earth did they not go down the Nintendo Switch Lite approach, or even the Nintendo Switch where the colors are quite popping? Because they're color devices. The final thing I will talk about is how they feel in terms of premium. So I do love how the Kobo Libra feels. Like, I love the textured back, and I particularly love where the power button is placed on that device. It's something I've talked about before. Why on earth Kindle decided to put the power button at the bottom where your fingers are is just bonkers. But then what I don't like is the indented screen, because dust collects in there, and I find myself having to go with like a napkin and fish that out, which I now thinking that might be how my screen got scuffed, because I'm constantly trying to wipe off the dust. Now, going over to the Kindle Coloursoft, it doesn't have that textured back, which, to be honest, I wish it did, because you feel more secure when you're holding it. But that being said, it does feel very premium. Obviously, it doesn't have the buttons, but the screen feels incredible. And the back of it is a really nice texture. I can't really describe it. The other Kindle Paperwhite Signature that came out in like 2021, I think it was, 2022, had like a rubbery feel. And after a month of use, it was absolutely destroyed from just hand grease and things. Whereas this one doesn't feel like that's going to happen. It's also got the cool, shiny logo that's like sort of multicolor when it hits the light, which I do really like. And it seems like they have done something with the button to make it a bit more sturdy. So far, I have not accidentally made it go into standby once, which is incredible, because I use that every day with my Paperwhite Signature, black and white. Both of them have USB-C ports, both are used for charging. And as I've already said, the Kindle Coloursoft can be wirelessly charged. If you've got the Kobo stylus, that's a huge difference for the Kindle, because it can't do that. It can't It doesn't have a stylus, it will never have a stylus. So if that is something you want, then why are you even comparing the two? Because this will never have the stylus. It's a positive, but also a flaw to me because you have to buy it separately. And I've lived with my Kobo for long enough to the point where I don't actually care about the stylus anymore. I did test one in a store finally. I went and had to go with it, and I wasn't that convinced because the screen didn't feel strong enough, to be honest. I was writing on it and worried I was going to damage it. And because my screen's already been scuffed just in day-to-day use, I don't trust buying any third-party pens to try on the screen, despite a few people telling me they've had success with them. When I did my own research, I did find people saying that it damaged their screen to the point where they had to contact Kobo, and Kobo refused to repair it because it wasn't with their device. 5, we're at user interface and navigation. So if you've not used a Kindle before, it's a very easy UI to navigate. Everything's pretty much in front of you, and the options menus aren't too complex, so it's quite straightforward. With the more recent updates, you can switch to dark mode with the tap of a button just on the drop-down menu, control your warm light, control your natural light, access the store and the web browser, which is something I've never really understood on either of the devices. I don't know who's buying these devices to surf the web. It literally would feel like using an Etch-a-Sketch to boot up Windows. I don't understand it. Both, you can customize your fonts and your styles. I do lean a little bit more towards Kobo for that because there's a lot more customizability on the page layout. Kobo Libra Color, it feels like it's a more advanced UI. In the Kobo Libra beta options, you can access games, you can access the notepad, the drawer, and all of that stuff. The UI is affected on the Kobo by the fact that you have the stylus, so there's notepad functionality and things that the Kindle's not going to have. But there are things on the Kindle UI that I forgot about when I moved over to Libra. And now that I'm back on it, it's sort of like, oh man, I really miss this. Like word-wise, it's great for growing your vocabulary. But beyond that, if you're a student, so I was a nursing student for a long time with my Kindle. And when you're highlighting the words in academic textbooks, it's storing them all. And then you can ask it to quiz you on them. I was in pathophysiology, biology, pharmacology. When you can do quizzes on those words, it's literally like revision on the bus, on the way to work, on the tube. Amazing. Also, X-ray is so good if you're someone who reads quite dense stories. Being able to see a breakdown of all the characters and locations and everything is pretty amazing. Number 6 is our content ecosystem. So, Kindle Coloursoft is obviously Amazon, and the Kobo Libra Color is Rakuten. With the Kindle Coloursoft, you can access the Amazon Kindle store, which is arguably the largest ebook store in existence, but it does come with its drawbacks. Once you buy those books, they are DRM locked. So you can't move them around. You can't put them on anything else. Like they're yours as long as you've got a Kindle. Once you get another device like a Kobo Libra Color, it's hard to get them on. Well, I wouldn't say it's hard. It's fiddly to get them on. There's softwares you have to go down. And in some countries, it's illegal. So it's all a bit grey and wishy-washy. With the Kobo, when you buy things on the e-store, you get the book and you can just drag it onto other devices when you move back over. It's something to be mindful of if you're someone who's going to be moving media between the device a lot in various formats. The Kobo ebook store is very similar to the Amazon store. You've got daily deals, it will tell you recommendations, ask you to continue series that you've already started. I have heard people complain that they've not been able to find particular books on the Kobo store versus Amazon, but I've never actually had that issue myself. Both of them have their own subscription services. So on the Amazon Kindle, you've got the Kindle Unlimited, but if you're a Prime member, you also get access to Prime books. So you don't actually need to get that extra add-on if you've already got Prime. You've already got access to a load of free books. And for a long time, some of those books were Harry Potter, which was pretty cool. I get Kobo Plus, which is sort of their answer to the Amazon Kindle Unlimited. Similar sort of thing. It's all about borrowing those books, really. You don't have to keep buying them. What I will say here with Kobo, depending on where you are in the world, the fact you can sync your local library with the Kobo is pretty amazing. So here, you can't do that on the Kindle. I know in America you can. So in the UK, be mindful of the fact that with the Kobo, you can sync your local library. So it's through Overdrive, and I've done it, and I've borrowed loads of books from my library. Number 7 is going to be price and value for money. I'm going to start just by saying both of these are pretty expensive devices. You're looking at the minimum £200 spend. That goes up to £270 if you want the Kindle Coloursoft. The Kobo Libra Color does not include the stylus for that. So if you actually include the stylus, which at times has been about £50, sometimes it's like 60, you're looking at about the same price for both devices. So again, it comes down to what is your reason for getting it? Do you want to be able to take notes in color as well as annotate books? Or do you literally just want to read books in color? That's the way that I would look at it. As I've said, I do feel the Kindle feels more premium. So when I took out the Kobo, I wouldn't say it screamed £200 to me in terms of value, whereas the Kindle Coloursoft, when you feel it, when you hold it, there's a little bit more weight to it. It does feel a bit more premium. Also, in terms of weight, they're both very similar. The Kobo is probably a little bit lighter, but I think that the weight adds to the premium feel for the Kindle, so it's not something that I see as a negative. Number 8 is file format support. This one gets a bit murky because I was trying to sort of research on which files are supported on each device. So according to the Kindle website, the Coloursoft supports AZW3, which is Amazon's file, EPUB, PDF, MOBI, Doc, and DocX. And then the Kobo Libra Color supports EPUB, PDF, MOBI, CBZ, and CBR. I don't know what that even means. I'm not going to pretend I know what that means. But if that's what you wanted to hear about, then I'm glad I've just given that to you. But I would actually go look it up yourself, because these things are ever changing. There's been rumors that Amazon are cracking down on how much freedom you have to play with the files that are on your device. And as far as I am aware, now if you plug in your Kindle to an external computer, it's not recognized as external media, whereas a Kobo Libra Color is. So that is definitely something to bear in mind if you're all about that file swapping stuff. Number 9, reading features. We sort of touched on this already. The Kindle Coloursoft obviously has an adjustable front light with warm light option, has the X-ray feature, which I've already said is wonderful for in-depth book exploration, and Whisper Sync for syncing your progress across devices, which works amazingly. Like, I forgot how well the apps work. So even the Kindle app on my tablet and my phone and then the way that it syncs with my Kindle is seamless. I will be reading a book at work, on the way to work, on my Kindle. Maybe I'm on a 5-minute break between phone calls. I check my phone, bam, tells me what page I'm on, moves me straight to it. With the Kobo, it has not been as seamless as that. I have moved from my Kobo to my tablet, and it's very janky. I have to scroll through to find the pages, but it's not so extreme that I'd say never buy a Kobo. It's just a little bit of extra time added on to the reading session. The Kobo Libra Color has got the Comfort Light Pro for adjustable brightness and color temperature, natural page turn buttons, which, the page turn buttons are wonderful. I've already talked about that. I wish you could buy an add-on clip feature that you could clip onto the Kindle. And it has Pocket integration for saving web articles for anyone that wants to do that. Again, I'm not someone who uses them for the web, so I am always a little bit baffled by that. And both of them have the option to auto-adjust the light settings based on daylight and nighttime. I would argue the Kobo does it better, because when I put auto light on my Kindle, a lot of the time I can't even see the page. Whereas the Kobo, it does pretty well. Like, I would say out of the two, it definitely does it better. Something I have tested actually, because I read before getting my Kindle Coloursoft that Amazon were basically boasting about the way the lights project the image. So a lot of these devices like the Kobo, the lights are behind the screen, they push out, whereas Amazon have tried to make it so that the lights are sort of to the side and shooting down, so that if you use it in bed or at night time, it doesn't light up the whole room, it just lights up the page. So I did want to test that for you guys. I think I'll let you guys be the judge of which one you think is better. I think Kindle has the edge again here though. First up is the Kindle Coloursoft. So you can see it lights the room up a tiny bit. And then I did the same thing with the Kobo Libra Color. I'd say it lights up a tiny bit more, but they still both do an excellent job. I will say that I don't know if it's because of that boost in the lights sort of facing down the page, that I have noticed on the bottom of the page, there's like a yellow tint. Okay, so this is just me now interrupting for a quick disclaimer. We're all well aware by now of the yellow bar of doom on the Kindle Coloursoft. If you aren't aware, I have actually done a video exclusively about this on my channel, so go check that out. I've not got the warm light on, as if it's the light sort of seeping out. It's not so extreme that I can't read, but it's there, it's noticeable. My 10th point and final point of the main 10 is performance and speed. Kindle Coloursoft boasts fast page turns with minimal ghosting. And I will agree that there really is minimal ghosting, because a lot of these devices say that, and I scroll through and I'm like, I can still sort of see. That's only really happened once with the Kindle Coloursoft. For me, the main test of these color e-readers is how they handle comic books. So the Kobo Libra, it loads the pages okay. It's a bit janky, and then the zoom isn't, it sort of stops so much, and you get that strobe effect, which is intensified when you actually move around the page. It sort of becomes unbearable and would often make me feel like I had a headache. So I would actually go back to my tablet for comics more than the Kobo. You compare it to how the Kindle Coloursoft handles comic books, it's a massive difference. It feels smoother, it's less strobe light in your eyes, and then the zoom capability really impressed me, considering this is an e-ink display. Just the way that it crisps up that image when you're zoomed in was really impressive. And then also, if you start to move around, again, there's no strobing, you don't feel like your eyes are hurting or that you can end up with a headache. It also has quick response for navigation and searches, and it really does. Like, I think I said this in my unboxing, the type in feels really quick and the loading screens are very fast. I used to use a Kindle store and think, how do they get away with it being this slow? It's a lot quicker on this device. I don't feel as painful looking for books and even just searching your Kindle for things. The Kobo Libra Color has smooth page turns and it's got reduced ghosting, but I'd say there's still some ghosting there. And it also has a pretty responsive touch interface for navigation. Plus you've got the buttons. So if you're on the store, you can use the buttons to move up and down throughout it. I'd say they're sort of neck and neck here. Then the Kindle, just a tiny bit faster when you're moving around and tapping on the screens. So that's the end of my 10 points. Final thing I will talk about is just the social reading features. The Kindle Coloursoft can sync with Goodreads, which is something that I really love and which I've always had fun with and did miss when I was just solely using Kobo. It's quite nice to read a book, finish it, do a rating, and it goes straight on to Goodreads. And also to be in the store and be able to view people's Goodreads reviews in real time as well is quite nice. You've also got the book clubs and discussion forums within the Kindle ecosystem and the ability to share your highlighted passages on social media. Something I do love on Kindle, actually, that makes you feel part of something, is when you're reading a book and it'll be like, this has been highlighted 300 times. I always enjoy that. The Kobo Libra Color has got a far better reading life stats package, I'd say. Some of the stats you can get on that are pretty insane, and you can see it in like graphs and data and stuff. And I do wish that Amazon would take note from them and make theirs far more comprehensive. Both have integration with book recommendation platforms, so they will tell you books they think you're going to like. Kobo Libra Color also has social annotation features for collaborative reading. But that's it from me. I know there's going to be so many things that people are going to say I've missed out. Well, thank you for stopping by. This is An Average Reader. I do more than talk about tech. Actually, this is what I do the least. Really, it's a booktube channel where we talk about reading and catch up about all things booktube. So sometimes I go book shopping, sometimes I do a vlog about the books I'm reading. If that's your bag, then by all means, like and subscribe. And I know you're waiting for a conclusion now. So as I said at the start, I don't want to try and tell you which device you should buy. Really, it comes down to preference. What is your need? So if you're someone, say you're a student, you want to be able to make notes and annotate in color, then by all means, I would say the Kobo Libra. If you're just someone who wants to be able to read text, highlight, and view your covers in color, then I would lean towards the Coloursoft with color. Either one is going to be a win, especially if you're a comic book reader, because I would say the panel view is a complete game changer. If you're a comic book reader, I would actually go out and just say, get this. Get the Kindle Coloursoft, because yeah, unless Kobo get panel view in the next couple of months, it's just so much more satisfying reading comics on it. I'd say the Kindle Coloursoft is best for those who are prioritizing the actual display quality of e-readers and the Amazon ecosystem. If you're already well into the Amazon ecosystem, I don't see any reason to jump ship anymore, because the whole reason before was to get the color, but you've got the color now. But then I'd say the Kobo Libra Color is ideal for those who value library usage, an optional stylus, and it's cheaper. So yeah, I mean, good luck choosing, guys. I'm happy with both, but I will have to choose one eventually because it feels obscene for me to have two e-readers. I don't use them both. I probably use the Kindle a little bit more, but that's just because it's new and fresh. It's like that new car thing. So maybe in the coming weeks, I will have to make a decision. Maybe I'll do it'll be like a medieval thing when they burn witches at the stake. I'll have to show you which one I chose, and everyone will be shamed. We'll throw vegetables and things at it. Until then, take care, guys.